Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Cherika Brown, of course. We're on another episode of Cherika Be Talking, cause I be talking. And on today's episode, we're going to just briefly discuss the entire situation that has the internet uproar about the Charlie Kirk guy situation. Now, personally, just a side note, I was just talking to my mama about this the other day. It is a privilege to be black and grow up in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, because there's a type of love that we have for our people and ourselves that is just unmatched. People from other parts of the world, other countries and everything, they don't tend to really understand what it means and how it feels to truly be black in America. But not only just being black in America, but being from a black thriving city like Atlanta, Georgia is a privilege, honestly, as a black person, to be able to grow up with so many people that look just like us. Like, growing up, all of our teachers were just like us, all of our peers look just like us, all of the business owners, the successes, look just like us. And with that privilege of growing up black in a thriving black area comes a self-respect and a confidence of being black that a lot of people don't tend to have. Now, what I'm seeing in the media is a lot of people is confusing culture and just politics and everything with God, and with mixing it all with God. And while I can say I am a being that has an intricate mind, because I don't think that God confined me to be a part of one social group, or I don't label myself. I don't put labels on myself when it comes to politics and social issues, because right is right and wrong is wrong at the end of the day. The first thing I think of is Matthew 7:22 to 23, where God said, many people will say, Lord, Lord, but they never knew me. And God is just talking about on the future judgment, where many people who perform miraculous works that they feel like were commendable here on earth will say that they did all of these things in the name of Lord, in the name of God. However, they weren't operating as Christ intended for us to be, like him. Now, like I said, because I'm from a thriving black area, certain social people, even though I'm aware of social justice issues, certain people aren't even like a name in our circle. So I just learned about this guy 2 days ago. And in the short research that I found, there were some points that I agreed with, but there are many points that I disagree with, because before anything, I am a black woman in America before I'm anything else. And the first thing that came to my mind and that I just saw everybody arguing about is about just the unaliving of this person. When it comes to somebody being unalive, of course, as a person of God, you should always, feel some sympathy. And God is close to the brokenhearted. So it's like prayers to his family immediately when you find out people have family and friends. Realistically speaking, people die every day. So on the other hand, we can't expect groups of people that this person did not support or did not like or did not think were valuable or the same people of God like he was. You shouldn't expect those people to just be like writing essays of condolences, or just expressing that they're so heartbroken, because in fact these people aren't heartbroken, they aren't affected. And like I said, people lose people important to them every day. That's just the sad reality of life. And I'm trying to find the right words to say this, because this is not to stir the pot, this is not to offend anybody, and it's not up for debate. You're not changing my mind about what I believe, because like I said, I am a true woman of God. I don't have to wear that on my forehead or try to lead with my opinion with that for people to join my side. It's not about joining my side. It's about just getting people to understand the different lenses of everybody. Now, when a lot of people are posting about this issue, if you notice, if you're posting like, oh, rest in peace, he's so sad, you'll notice that there are a certain group of people that are like, yes, oh my God, it's so sad, it's such sad news, all this and that, oh, it's so heartbreaking. And there was a school shooting that happened on the same day where they said a lot of kids lost their lives, but that didn't make the headlines, it didn't make the news. And this individual, he said that we need a certain number of gun outings done every year to like control the right for the Second Amendment. That was his words. And it's sad to say, because when you know how people who think politically think, when they say things like that, when they think people should be taken off of this earth or unalive, when they're not thinking that these are people, children or sons and daughters and fathers that they're speaking about should be taken away off earth due to gun violence, they're thinking of a demographic of people, particularly black people. They're thinking about black people, and they think that they're so big and above the law that they don't think that it can happen to them. So sadly and unfortunately, it did happen. And I'm not rejoicing on it, and I don't promote or think that people should rejoice on it. However, I don't think that people have to feel a certain way either. So while I think that there shouldn't be people on the internet that's like clapping or celebrating a death, we also don't have to celebrate a life. When whatever we do on this earth, we leave a legacy behind, and people either will respect your legacy or they wouldn't agree with it. For example, he said that he didn't, in the little research that I did of him, I didn't go too deep, but I went deep enough to see his mindset. And he said that people like Martin Luther King weren't notable black leaders, in our community. I respect Dr. King. Nobody can change my mind and my perception of what Dr. King did for our people. He's a respectable man in my eyes. All of the stuff that they say about affairs and, all of the things that they try to do to trick our minds and to derail us and make us think otherwise about somebody, a public figure that was supposed to be notable in our community. I don't get into that because we don't have solid evidence that prove these things to be true. And even if we did, the focus was him being a civil rights activist, and what he did, risking his life for our freedom, is the reason that we are where we are today as a people, and that black people were able to break barriers so not only we can get further in life, but we also granted the opportunity for other black and brown people all across the world to be able to come to America for opportunities. If it wasn't for black Americans, the opportunities in the land that we have today would not exist. So nobody can make me try to sidebar me on a personal bedroom affair that I have no parts in, don't know nothing about back in the days, or even heard any statement from his wife to prove these things to be true, on the fact that this man promoted love, peace, equality, and things of that nature. Now, one important thing I would say Dr. King said that I could leave y'all with is, hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. When you hear a person like the Charlie man that said that Palestine doesn't exist, and that a day like Juneteenth should not be a federal holiday, and he's going to work, and just different things that can lead you to believe, like, for example, he said that most black kids don't have a father. I just spoke on that on my other video where I said that's a lie that they try and tell us, that we don't have black male figures in our family. Whether it's your uncle, your brother, your cousin, or whoever, we always have a father figure in our lives. And black families, the way we don't go wrong is that we don't teach hate in our household. So as passionate as I am about being black and being a black individual, my mom, my dad, my grandmother, nobody ever taught me to hate white people or people of another race. My perception of other races is based off my experience in life, not what I was taught in my home. So that's the difference between the different races, and even because I can love being black without hating white people. But it seems like every time a white person is passionate about being conservative and being from America, that it comes with hating black people or hating just people that do not look like them and trying to find fault in us. However, the crime that took place that y'all want us to be so sad about was white on white crime. they push the narrative of black on black crime, which is indeed not a real thing. It's something that was created by a group of people to make us think that we are bad people and that we damage our own community. Why you don't hear white on white crime? You don't hear Asian on Asian crime. You don't hear any of those things. So all of these phrases are made up by people to keep us in a box and keep us having a negative perception of who we are. We are love. And if you are online celebrating somebody's unaliving, I challenge you to just let it go. Don't engage in it. Everything that is not called for a response. The man family is probably going through enough of whatever they're going through, but approach every situation with love. A lot of those people, because of their upbringing, like I said, as a black person, we are taught love in our homes. They don't have that same experience in their home because they enslaved us, and for centuries they thought a certain way, and they're just now getting to a point where white people and their families are, kind of changing their mindsets and seeing like, oh, my grandfather was wrong for hating these group of people. So a lot of things you can't even fault them for believing because it's instilled in them. Like, it's so much hatred inside of them that they honestly feel like that they are working for God and that they are doing what's right. But I also want to just speak on those Christian influencers that I see. I've seen a few people looking performative, like crying, saying that they can't believe that this man is dead and they liked him so much. And it's black Christian influencers and stuff. I want to challenge y'all to, God, don't get me wrong, God get all the praise and glory in my life because I am who I am because of God, and I'm nothing without God. But I want to challenge y'all to leave God out of things that God may not have any parts in. And even if you may not understand that God doesn't have parts in certain things, I want you to pray for the discernment for God to reveal to you when things are not of his name and when his name is being used in vain, because it's not cool, and you plan with God in a sense when you go that far, because like I said, I don't box myself in. So there are certain things that this man have said that I can say I agree with that part. However, God is not the author of confusion. So if my death was to cause people to send threats to historically black colleges and universities, causing chaos, God is nowhere in that, because that's dividing people, that's threatening other lives of other people, family members. But none of those things matter, huh? It's just this person that you're worshiping and idolizing is all you can think about. So that's all you care about for the moment. Sometimes we have to challenge ourselves to think, is this really how I feel or how I think, or is this truly ethically what's right, or am I just going with my feelings and my opinion? Like, is this truly biblical, or is this my opinion? And I'm just standing by my opinion, and I want to look like I'm a good person, and people just don't understand, and people have not come to God, and I'm just going to pray for these people. We got to stop playing with God, y'all. We got to stop playing with God, and we got to start praying. I hope this message get through to somebody, and I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't really care to hear your objections, because God is love, and we are love. Yeah. But y'all know I'll be back because I'll be talking. Peace.